Hey everybody, it's John with Sweet Memories Cooking. Welcome to What's for Dinner. And today we're going to talk about how to make roasted tomato basil soup. Well, whenever I get the opportunity, I really like to take the time and make my own soup because you can control the ingredients, and that's so important. We all want to know what goes into our food. And this is a recipe that I've been messing around with for a while, and I really like this combination. So let's get started. So here are the ingredients. You're going to need some plum tomatoes, olive oil, salt and pepper, chopped onions, a few garlic cloves, some butter, crushed red pepper, peeled plum tomatoes with their juices, 2 cups of fresh basil. Really pack that so that you got a lot of basil in there because you want that flavor. Obviously, if it's basil tomato soup, some fresh thyme. If you don't have fresh, you can use your what you have in the jar, and then some either chicken stock or water. So again, the thing I like about making my own soup is I can control the ingredients because I'm very concerned about the amount of sodium in food. It leads to high blood pressure and just a lot of health things. But I looked on the can of tomato soup that I do have in my cupboard, um, and the label was telling me there's 410 milligrams of salt, which I thought, well, that seems kind of high, but how does that compare to anything else? So I went out and I did a little research and I found this chart. This is from the CDC, Center for Disease Control. And basically, I found out that in the United States, the average daily sodium intake for people age 2 and up is over 3,400 milligrams. And so I thought, well, that's fine, but what is what is it? How much do we need and what should we be doing? And as you go down the chart, it tells you the tolerable upper level. So the most we should have for your body to tolerate is 2,300 milligrams, but the recommended level is no more than 1,500 milligrams. But then how much does your body really need? Our bodies really need only 180 to 500 milligrams of sodium per day. So having this can of soup that has 410, I'm already, well on my way. So, Center for Disease Control says decreasing sodium intake could prevent thousands of deaths annually, and how, sodium is one of the biggest contributors to high blood pressure. So all that said, that's only one of the reasons I like to make my own food. I'd like to do it, like the flavors, like to be in control of what the ingredients are. So let's get started. So the first thing I do is I like to lay out all my ingredients. So I have everything all set out. And then in this case, I'm going to set the oven to 400 degrees, that's Fahrenheit, and then slice the tomatoes and lay them out on a cookie sheet and cover them with, it ends up being about 1/4 cup of olive oil, salt and pepper. I kind of toss it and then I arrange it like this. What you're going to do is you're going to roast that then for 45 minutes, again at 400 degrees. Now, while that is going, I take a stock pot, fairly good sized pot, and I heat 2 tablespoons of olive oil, set it to medium, and add the onions, garlic, and the red pepper flakes. I'll saute that until the onions are soft and just before they turn brown. You'll be able to see what's going on. Then I open that can of uh, tomatoes, the peeled plum tomatoes, and I like to pour those in a bowl and hand crush them. And that's just my technique. I like to crush them with my hands and really, get that texture that I like. But you could also just put them in a blender and pulse it a few times. Then you're going to want to add the tomatoes to the pot along with the basil and the thyme. And then I start with a cup of either chicken stock, could be vegetable stock, or water, um, just to get that going. Now, you might want to add a little bit later on as it starts cooking if you think it's too thick. But I get that going and I just leave that on a simmer. And when the tomatoes are roasted, I'll take those and I'll add them to the pot. I'll stir that all together. Then I bring that up to a boil and let it simmer about 30 to 40 minutes. At that time, I stir it up taste it, see if it needs a little more seasoning. Then I start to blend that together. Now, if you have an immersion blender, you can put that right in the pot and start blending it. If you don't, just ladle the mixture into a regular blender until it's the consistency you like. Now, I like mine a little bit thicker and chunkier, but that's a personal preference. At this time is also when you're going to look at it to see if you want to add a little more of that broth to thin it down a little bit. And again, taste it, see if it needs a little salt and pepper. Other than that, you're done. So in, 40 minutes to an hour, you've made a wonderful meal, at home that surely beats what you get in a can. So let's look at the finished product. There it is. I get about 6 large bowls of soup out of this recipe, and it's just spicy and wonderful, and you get that roasted flavor from the tomatoes. It's just fantastic. So that said, let me tell you where you can find the recipe. I always put the recipe up on our Facebook group page right under this video. And that's on Facebook. Again, Sweet Memories Cooking. Just search on that. And then if you're not a group member, go ahead and click and join the group. And then you can also find us on our website, sweetmemoriescooking.com. Now there you'll find this blog, recipes, and more. You'll find some newsletters that we've done with a link to the YouTube page where Patty and I have done some videos where we actually walk you through on camera how to prepare food. You can also purchase our cookbooks from there. And there's a link to the iPad or iPhone application that we have that's Let's Get Cooking with John and Patty. You can go to Amazon.com and you can search for Gifaldi and download the cookbook. Now the cookbook, you can view it actually on a Kindle, or there's an application you can download to your PC to view Kindle materials on your laptop or desktop computer. At any rate, find us, take the recipes, take some time, and really create those sweet memories in your own kitchen and pass up that drive-through. Until next time, take care.